Never forget that they're coming after me because I am fighting for you, and it's true. We've saved more than $500 billion Nevada cops and jobs and all of this, yet so many people going out. We've saved 42,000 Nevada businesses. Think of that. Biden would terminate this comeback. He wants to end it. He would terminate this comeback. He would put your families in danger. He will totally destroy Social Security. And in my opinion, if you look at what he's going to do to Medicare, they will destroy Social Security. You called it. You know what you're talking about. Exactly right. He's going to massively raise your taxes, reimpose crippling federal regulations, destroy your Social Security, and destroy protections for pre-existing conditions. He's going to destroy that and decimate your 401ks and retirement savings and stocks. Your stocks are going to go down like you never saw anything go down before. He'll obliterate your Second Amendment. He'll give you, and he wants to give free health care to illegal aliens. That'll bankrupt Medicare. He wants to give, you saw him raise his hand. Remember the debate where they're all standing there and he looked around. Who's going to give free health care to illegal aliens? And everyone's raising hands. He's going, oh. No, take a look. I'm not kidding. It's sad. It's pathetic. He would end our travel bans on jihadist regions and increase refugee admissions 700%, opening the floodgates to terror-afflicted nations. You understand that? He'll establish a national sanctuary city policy for criminal illegal aliens. He loves sanctuary cities, meaning the people that control him love sanctuary cities. Biden pledges to oppose school choice, and he has stated that if he is elected, charter schools are, quote, gone. They're gone. In the second term, and we've already started it very heavily, I will provide school choice to every parent in America. My administration's achieved the most secure border in American history. We ended the catch and release disaster. Remember, you'd catch somebody. What's your name? I don't know. What's your address? I don't know. Okay, go into our country. That's okay. You couldn't arrest anybody. We ended it, stopped asylum fraud, and we've deported over 20,000 gang members, including MS-13, and over 500,000 criminal illegal aliens. Now think about it. Think of that number. Think if you had 500,000 people spread throughout the country that were criminal illegal aliens. Some of these are very violent people, and we get them the hell out. We're stopping human trafficking, protecting the victims, most of whom are women. Most of whom are women. Human trafficking, because of the internet, that's a tremendously big and horrible business. These are the worst human beings of all. But most of the victims are women, children to a much lesser extent, but women, and human traffickers. And you know what made it that way is the internet. Who would think? It almost sounds like an ancient crime. It's not. It's very modern because of the internet, because of the computer. And it's a horrible thing, and we've stopped so much of it. We have an incredible group of people that go after these animals. And we've built now over 320 miles of border wall and are adding 10 new miles a week. And the wall will very soon be finished. It'll be finished. We've invested $2.5 trillion in the U.S. military. We've rebuilt our it was a depleted military. Now we have the newest, we have the best we've ever had, and launched the first new branch of the United States Armed Forces in nearly 75 years, the U.S. Space Force. And we did things that people said couldn't be done after 52 years. We passed VA choice and VA accountability. And 91% of our veterans now approve of their VA care. They think it's doing great. The fact is, I did more in 47 months as president than Joe Biden did in 47 years. It's true. It's true. I withdrew from last administration's disastrous Iran nuclear deal. We killed the founder and leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. We eliminated the world's #1 terrorist and mass murderer of American troops, Qasem Soleimani. He's dead. He's gone. Biden voted for the Iraq War. He opposed the mission to take out Osama bin Laden. He opposed killing Soleimani. He oversaw the rise of ISIS. And he cheered the rise of China as a very positive development. Oh, really? Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Not too positive. Joe Biden has been on the wrong side of history for 47 years. In fact, the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense said about him, he's never called it right. He never called it right. If we had listened to Joe, hundreds of thousands more Americans would right now have died. When the virus arrived, we launched the largest national mobilization since World War II. You know that, especially with ventilators and equipment and masks and shields. We're delivering life-saving therapies and have achieved among the lowest case fatality rates of any major country in the world. And you don't hear that from the fake news. Europe's excess mortality rate is 24% higher. And these are statistics that come from people that do this stuff, right? This is not done by my secretary. I ended the administrations, and if you look at that last administration, what they were doing on American energy, what they were doing, and now we are the world's #1 energy producer by far, and we are energy independent. How about your gas prices? That's not too bad, right? You know, you didn't think you'd ever see those prices, those under $2 prices, did you, huh? Thank you, President Trump. I appreciate it, sir. Biden has pledged to abolish the production of American oil and shale and clean coal and natural gas, and he wants to ban fracking, right? So he's in these debates with the other people, and they're just eating him alive. He did his best debate against Crazy Bernie. And I got to ask, why did he get better all of a sudden? What happened? Why? Do you have any idea why? I think I know. Why did he get better all of a sudden? But he did his last debate, but he was so bad, and he raised his hand, no fracking. There will be no fracking under my administration, he said. And you know why I add the word he said? Because they will take what I said and they will put it as a commercial. There will be no fracking under my administration. They'll have me saying it. That's how dishonest these people are. So I always have to add something because, you know, but even then, sometimes they'll cut it off at the end. But he said there'll be no fracking under my administration. Now, all of a sudden, he goes to Pennsylvania, and his polls aren't looking very good because they do big fracking. And he goes to Texas, and he goes to Oklahoma, and he goes to North Dakota, and he goes to all these places. Not looking so good. All of a sudden, he says, I had nothing against fracking. What are you talking about? But always follow their first instinct, because the first instinct is what is going to happen. And he has to, because he signed, you know, he has a manifesto. I call it the manifesto, with Bernie and AOC plus 3, you know, all these crazy people. And it's a manifesto. And it reads far worse than anything Bernie Sanders ever said. You know, I thought he'd take what Bernie did and move them somewhat to the right. No, he took what Bernie said and they moved way further left. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But follow the original statements, because that's what's going to happen. Whether it's on religion or on guns or on fracking or on energy or anything, that's what's going to happen. Unlike Biden, while I'm president of the United States, I will always stand with the heroes of our law enforcement. And on November 3rd, you will save America. You're talking about saving America. We cannot let this happen to our country, because I don't know if you can ever come back from what will happen, including our Supreme Court. And it's so easy. It's so easy. A lot of them now are wealthy. You know, they're like these wealthy, spoiled kids that have no clue about life. They've got arms that are about this big, but they wear heavy jackets with lots. And you look, you say, oh, that guy looks tough. And then the jacket comes off, and you see these two little. Then they go home, and they live in a basement, too, their mom and dad's basement. But Biden's plan is to appease domestic terrorists, and my plan is to arrest domestic terrorists. But they want to punish you for praying in church while they let agitators and arsonists burn your churches down. Look at Washington. They want to burn the churches down, and that's fine. But, you know, you want to go pray in church, they won't let you do that. Just last week, Biden proudly accepted the endorsement of pro-criminal, anti-police Portland District Attorney who has a policy of releasing rioters, vandals, criminals, and violent extremists without any charges, no charges. Never saw anything. By the way, all of these places we're talking about, you know, are Democrat-run. Chicago, New York, Portland, Seattle. The only reason Seattle got settled, because they knew we were going in. We told them, we're going in tomorrow morning. We're going to open it up. We're going to take it. It would have taken us 20 minutes. So they sent people that night because they didn't want to be embarrassed. But look at what we've done. And so every place we've touched, we solved the crime. These ballots, where are they going? Who are they sending? Who's sending them back? Who's signing? They don't even have to have an authorized signature in Nevada. Do you know that? They don't have to have, you don't have to have an authorized signature on a ballot? No. They're trying to rig an election, and we can't let that happen. I hope you're all going to be poll watchers. I hope you are. Because with you people watching the polls, it's going to be pretty hard to cheat, I'll tell you. I wouldn't want to be a cheater. They'll figure a way. No, they are. It's a very dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing, and I totally mean it, and I've been at it. And you see people, and by the way, it's not even politics. It's common sense. They send millions of ballots. People are getting ballots. People died, and they're getting ballots. They're sending them to dogs. You see that? Dogs got ballots. Everybody's getting ballots. Probably everybody but Republican are going to get the ballots, right? And they're unsolicited. So when you say, you know, solicited, because I like solicited better as a word than absentee. Absentee, nobody knows what the hell it's supposed to represent. It's not really a good definition. One is solicited, where you ask, you solicit the ballot, you want it, you sign papers, they send it to you, you send it back, it's okay, it's good. But unsolicited, where they take millions of ballots. So what happens? I happen to think the postal people are great. But what happens if one of the post guys, before he gives the ballots, he takes a whole handful and hands them to some Democrat political operative, right? And so he hands him 1,000 ballots, and the guy doesn't even have to, you don't have to have verification in Nevada. Now, here's the good news. We're in front of a court, and hopefully the court's going to rule, because this is the greatest scam. This is the greatest scam in the history of presidential politics. These people they've gone crazy. Biden and his party of liberal hypocrites want to lock law-abiding Americans in their homes, which is what they're doing. And they want to keep them out of church. They really do. They're fighting God, they're fighting guns, and they're fighting oil. Think of it. I don't think they'll do too well in Texas. Did you see what they said? We think the race will be quite close in Texas, but the president has an edge. Listen, I'm in favor of oil and energy. I'm in favor of religion and God, okay? And I'm in favor of our great Second Amendment guns. So he's against our Second Amendment. Okay, you know who he put in charge? Beto. Beto. Or as he says, is Beto. So when Beto was legit, and then Ted Cruz beat him, and Ted did a very good job, I tell you. He did a great job. So, but Beto went totally south. He's gone crazy. So he now is a big gun guy. He wants to take guns away from everybody. So who did Biden put in charge? Beto. Remember, Beto was interviewed in some magazine, a third-rate magazine, most of them are. But remember, and Beto said, this was at the beginning, before he got beat to hell. I said, he thought this was easy, didn't he? But remember when Beto said, I was born for this. As soon as I hear somebody's born for running for president, I said, he's out. That's the end of him. Nobody's born for this. This is tough stuff. I had a great life. Highest stock market in history. So your 401ks are doing great. If he got in, we would have the greatest depression in the history of our country. I mean it. I think 1929 would look like good times, all right? Because he'd do everything wrong. He'd raise your taxes. He'd raise the hell out of interest rates. He'd do everything wrong. The Biden shutdown will permanently destroy the lives and dreams of tens of millions of Americans, inflict totally lasting harm on our children, and lead countless deaths from suicide. Don't forget, when you do these shutdowns, your state is shut down. You got a governor, you're shut down. Except if you have a riot. You're not shut down for riots. Riots you can have. They can burn the hell out of this strip. They can burn the hell out of Reno. They can do whatever the hell they want if it's a riot. But if you want to go to church, you can't do it. If you want to be in a group of people, you can't do it. But you know, there's a lot of harm done on the other side. There's a lot of tremendous harm done. Remember, the cure can't be worse. Remember that. And on the other side, drugs, suicide, depression, substance abuse of different kinds, heart disease. You have tremendous problems on the other side. Open your schools. Open up. We got to open up this state. No state was hit harder by Biden's failure than Nevada. And I was out here, and that's right about that. I would tell you, you got hit hard. This is not the guy you want. But under my administration, before the virus, we quickly achieved the lowest unemployment rate in the history of Nevada, and we'll soon have it back there again. We'll soon have it back there again. But I hope everybody here, 25,000 people, whatever the hell it is, including those people back there, they're angry at me. I don't know why we gave the press this good location. So whether or not we allow Biden to impose the biggest tax increase in the history of our country, $4 trillion, or he wants to ban energy, ban American. He wants to stop fracking. Hey, by the way, when he was running as a Democrat, and the worst debate performances I've ever seen, okay, what do you think? He was unable to answer anything. Are you awake, sir? Sir, please wake up. And who was the worst? Who treated him the worst? Kamala. And then you read these fake reporters, and they say, President Trump is tied in Nevada. Tied. I don't think so. The only way we're tied is if they screw around with the ballots, which they will do, in my opinion, okay? We're not tied anywhere. I asked some people that traveled with Obama. I said, was it the same thing? They say, not even a tiny fraction of what you have. There's not even a fraction. We have more enthusiasm. We have more spirit than any campaign that anybody's ever seen. It's true. Joe Biden cannot lead our country because he doesn't really believe in our country. Right now, I don't think he believes in anything. He just wants to go to sleep. That's all. Please, darling, I want to go to bed. I'm exhausted. I made one speech yesterday. But, darling, they gave you the answers and the questions. I know, but that was a big strain because my eyes, I couldn't see the teleprompter. This guy is the worst. I am running, and you know, it's going to maybe come back to haunt me because we have a rigged election. It's a rigged election. It's the only way we're going to lose. But I tell you what, he is the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics. He doesn't know he's alive. Yeah, Joe Biden spent the last 47 years selling out America, offshoring your jobs, throwing open your borders, depleting our military, and sacrificing your children's future in China. I've spent the last 4 years bringing our jobs back to America, securing our borders, rebuilding our military, and standing up to China like never before. Nobody has ever stood up to China like we have stood up to China. And you haven't seen the last of it. Sleepy Joe Biden surrendered. You know where he is now? He's in his damn basement again. No, he's in his basement. I think the media, the fake news, is the most dishonest group of people I've ever seen anywhere in my entire life. And that includes, by the way, leaders of foreign countries that aren't our friends, okay? That's a big statement. They really are bad news. But here we are, and this is really amazing. The governor tried to stop us. He couldn't. But think of this. He's in control of millions of votes. Here's a guy calling venues, telling them not to have the rally, calling different venues, don't have the rally. We're not going to let you have the rally. And he's calling this governor, who is a political hack. He was a political hack, and then he became governor. And this is the guy that we're entrusting with millions of ballots, unsolicited ballots, millions and millions, and then we're supposed to win these states. And we have a guy that would do that where he won't let us have it. We call it a protest, and therefore we can do it. But you want to know something? It's a disgrace. So who the hell is going to trust? You know, they say, trust trust government. Well, how would you trust a guy that fought that we aren't here, that we can't have all these thousands of people? Boy, you are really back far. Look at that. No, but seriously. And now he's in charge of the election and the millions of ballots. So if I'm up like millions of votes, he can rig the election. He can rig the election. And I'll tell you what, whether it's in North Carolina, whether it's in Michigan, whether it's in other states where they're going to be sending out 80 million ballots. And it's Democrats. They're trying to rig this election. At every single place in the last year and a half, go modern day, forget about tiny amounts, a congressional race in New York, a small number of votes. If you go to New Jersey, if you go to Virginia, if you go to Pennsylvania, if you go to California, look at some of these races. Every one of these races was a fraud, missing ballots, and I don't mean like 1%, I mean like 20%, 25%. They're trying to rig the election. They should make people, if you register, if you want a solicited ballot, that's where you ask for it. You have to sign papers, you get it, because you can't be there. That's one thing. When they send 80 million ballots to people, they have no idea where they're going. Actually, they probably do have a good idea where they're going, and that's our problem. They send 80 million ballots out. Where are they going? Who are they sending them to? Are they sending them to certain areas and not other areas? Are they sending them to Democrat areas? These are all controlled by Democrat governors, like your politically motivated governor. So just to finish on that, he's a guy that tried to silence us by not having this, and it ended up, our crowd turned out to be a lot bigger than NBC, which is owned by Comcast. C-O-N, Comcast. C-O-N-C-A-S-T, Comcast. It's really Comcast, but I call it con because it's a whole con. Over the next 4 years, to conclude, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. We will make our medical supplies right here in the United States. We will rapidly return to full employment, soaring economies, and a record prosperity even greater than last year. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, surge federal prosecutors into high-crime communities, and ban sanctuary cities. We will appoint prosecutors, judges, justices, and we will believe in enforcing the law. We want law and order. We have to have it. We will ensure equal justice for citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed. We will defend the dignity of work and the sanctity of life. We will uphold religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms. We will strike down terrorists who threaten our citizens, and we will keep America out of endless foreign wars. And we are bringing our troops home as we speak tonight. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency. It's already signed, starts on January 1st. I don't want anyone to, that was a big deal. I don't want Sleepy Joe to take care of, can you imagine? I'll be watching. Prices have dropped substantially all throughout the country because of prices. And I'm the one that got it done. And he'll say, what did I do? What did I do? How did this happen? And we'll further reduce health insurance premiums and the cost of prescription drugs. We just did favored nations. We're going to come down to the lowest price anywhere in the world because we did a favored nations clause. You know what that is? The drug companies don't exactly like me too much. They're spending millions of dollars on negative commercials. Please understand, when you see those commercials, it means your drug prices are coming down. We will strongly protect Medicaid and Social Security, which they will give up, and we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. And America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. And we will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the people of Nevada. So very importantly, get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, and get out and vote on November 3rd. From Carson City to Elko, from Las Vegas to Reno, and from Clark County to right here in Douglas County. We stand on the shoulders of red-blooded American patriots who poured out their heart, sweat, and soul to secure our liberty. They want to secure our liberty, think of it, and defend our freedom. Nevada was founded by pioneers and prospectors, miners and cowboys, innovators and trailblazers, tough people, great people, who tamed the frontier, raised up the mighty Hoover Dam, lit up the brilliant lights of the Vegas Strip, and transformed a sprawling desert into a shining oasis. So true. Our American ancestors made this into the greatest nation ever to exist on the face of the earth, and we are making it greater than it ever has been. We are making it greater than ever before. We are making it greater than it's ever been. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Nevada, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. It's happening. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.